Hi guys, so we're going to do the vocabulary and the shared read and the literary terms for the week. Okay, we're going to start with the word bouquet. A bouquet is a bunch of flowers that are cut and placed together. All right, it says, I believe in your book, gathered cut flowers or something like that. So if you see the flowers here, they've been cut from the garden and they're gathered together. There's a what looks like a little ribbon tied around these. Okay, this is a bouquet. I assembled the beautiful flowers into a bouquet. All right, the next word is emotion. You can see the boy here is showing a strong emotion. Surprise is such a strong emotion that people often gasp out loud, and that's what the boy here in the picture is doing. He has his mouth wide open because he is surprised. So, emotion is a strong feeling like love, hate, sorrow, fear, excitement, I should say being excited, or being sad, or being afraid. Okay, these are emotions. All right, our next word is encircle. When you encircle something, you make a circle around it or surround it, like here in our picture, the children are playing and they've made a circle around the tree. The children held hands to encircle the tree. Okay, so they are surrounding the tree from all sides. Express. Now, we talked today about express. I believe your book says that to express something means to uh, put it into words, to say something and put what you want to say into words. Express can be more than that. You can express yourself by the way you dress, you can express yourself by the way you sing, you can express yourself by the way you dance, you can express yourself by a painting, you can express yourself by your art, your drawing, something you make with your hands like a sculpture. But I believe in your book, if I'm not mistaken, it says that express is, I'm double checking now. It says that express means to say or show something. Okay, it says say or show. All right, so show could be your art or the way you dress, the jewelry you wear, the way you do your hair. It could be many things. A way of showing what you think. You can do that from through saying something, you can do that through displaying something, you can do that through making something. Our next word is fussy. The word fussy means that someone is hard to please, picky. Okay, fussy Mr. Green stood in front of the mirror until his bow tie looked perfect. So he kept messing with his tie until he thought it was absolutely perfect. He was very fussy and wanted it a certain way. All right, our next word is portraits. This week, Anne's art class is drawing portraits of themselves and each other. A portrait are pictures of people, usually only showing the face and the upper part of your body, which is like your shoulder area, your neck, and your head. Okay, like your school pictures, when you take your school pictures. This is a portrait. Sparkles. See the shiny stuff on the curtain here? I believe that's like a stage curtain. Yes, curtain. The gold beaded curtain sparkles in the light. When the light reflects off of it, it is sparkly. So sparkles means something that shines in quick, bright flashes. That's where the light's reflecting off of it. Whirl. Whirl means to turn or spin around rapidly. Like these dancers are spinning around, and it says they were able to whirl and twirl without getting dizzy. All right, that's our vocabulary for the week. Let's take a look at our story. Those are spelling words for the week. In case you haven't written those down in your book, you could take them from the video here. All right, well, I am getting way ahead of myself. I believe it's in the other folder. Let's check. Just a second here. There we go. All right, here's our story. Our story is called Sadie's Game. This is Sadie here in the wheelchair. The referee's whistle went off like a shrieking bird, signaling Sadie's second foul of the game. It was only the first quarter, and Sadie has already collided twice with another player's wheelchair. Her coach waved her off the court for a substitution as the crowd shouted catcalls and jeered behind her. So Sadie has bumped into another player twice with her wheelchair, and the referee gave her a foul. This is the referee here with the whistle. He gave her a foul. You're only allowed 4 fouls in the game, and you're out of the game. Okay, so she already has 2 in the first quarter of the game. That's not a good sign. So her coach takes her out and puts someone else in her place because he doesn't want her to get kicked out of the game early. People are yelling catcalls and jeering behind her, meaning that they are saying stuff like, "Hey, you, get off the court. You're not playing fair. Don't hit other players. What's wrong with you?" Stuff like that as she leaves. She had never seen a crowd express such disappointment before. So the crowd is showing that they're disappointed by what they are saying to her. They're expressing their disappointment. Sadie watched her teammates whirl and spin in front of her. Her emotions were all over the place, and it showed in her basketball playing. Emotions, remember that's your feelings. So her emotions were all over. She was sad she was out of the game. She was angry that she got pulled out. She was happy to be at the game. She was eager and wanted to play. She was fearful that she wouldn't get put back in. Lots of emotions all over the place. If only she and her brother had not argued this morning about the game. "What's so important, Richie, that you can't be at the game? Don't I matter anymore?" Sadie had asked. So her and her brother had a fight in the morning about him coming to her game. Richie was Sadie's whole world, and they both loved sports, especially basketball. Sadie loved to play before her accident, and it was Richie who had taught her to play again afterward. There had been days when she did not want to get out of bed, and he would coax and bully her until she got up. He even borrowed a wheelchair himself to help her learn how to play the game all over again. So before she got hurt and ended up in the wheelchair, she used to play basketball. And her brother Richie pushed her to play again. He even sat in the wheelchair and played with her to teach her how. Together they would roll across the outdoor court, zipping, zooming, passing, and dribbling all day. But lately, Richie preferred to hang out with his new high school friends. Sadie would watch through the window as Richie polished every little nook of his new car. He was as fussy as a mother cat cleaning her kittens. Fussy, very picky. He wanted the car exactly the way he wanted it. When he drove away, Sadie would keep staring out of the window, tears clouding her eyes. So she missed him, and she missed spending time with him. Mama was her son. Her arms would reach out and encircle her in a long, warm embrace. "Sadie," she would say, "your brother loves you. Even though he's got new priorities now, that doesn't mean he doesn't care." But Sadie felt hurt. Sadie looked up and saw her coach frowning. She searched sadly for her mother, expecting disappointment in her eyes. But instead she saw a wide smile. It was the same happy face she saw in portraits of her mother at home. Remember, portraits are pictures, pictures of the head and shoulder area of your body. Sadie followed her mother's gaze to find Richie jogging toward her across the gym, holding a purple and white bouquet of flowers wrapped tightly with a ribbon. So she expected that Mom was going to be upset from her for getting pulled out of the game, but Mom was smiling when she saw Richie come in with the flowers. Okay, the bouquet of flowers wrapped in the ribbon. Richie's eyes sparkled, so his eyes were shining, and his smile gleamed. He bowed to his sister and handed her the flowers as though she were a queen. "But we're losing. How do you know we're going to win?" she asked. "I don't," Richie said. "It's not important. What I know is you're like a whirlwind on the court, and there is no way I'm going to miss my sister's big game." He put his hand on her shoulder as he said, "It's great to have a lot of new friends, but I realize that you're my best friend." Sadie smiled. Those words meant more to her than "I'm sorry" ever could. She rested the flowers on her lap and went back out onto the court. Right then, Sadie decided to play the rest of the game with the bouquet on her lap. With her brother watching from the sidelines, Sadie stole the ball from an opponent and dribbled her way to the net, making the first of what would be many amazing shots for the team. All right. So that's our vocabulary. If you have any questions, you can feel free to message me if you don't understand something. Let's take a look at our literary terms for the week. We have visualize. We know visualize is when we imagine a picture in our mind based on the details that we have read. So we use those details to make a picture in our mind. The next word for the week is problem and solution. All right, so we know that the problem is what's wrong in our story, what needs to be fixed, something that we have to solve, a problem. The solution is how we fix that problem. Okay, so in the in the story that we just read, in the shared read, Sadie was upset that Richie had not been spending time with her. So the solution to the problem is Richie made a point to come to her big game and give her flowers and make her feel special. Realistic fiction. We know that's a made-up story that could happen in real life, but it didn't. Okay? This is the same realistic fiction we've been taking all year. We make up a story. It has realistic characters, realistic settings, and realistic events. All right, now this week we're taking foreshadowing. Foreshadowing hints at something that's going to happen in the story, but it doesn't actually tell you that it happens. So like here, when Sadie is looking at her mother and sees her smiling, the author is giving us a clue that something good is going to happen because she thought mom was going to be upset with her. And when she looks at mom, she finds that mom is happy and not upset. Okay, so again, foreshadowing is when the author gives you hints that something is going to happen, but without actually telling you that something's going to happen. Similes and metaphors. Both compare two things. Similes use the word like or as. Metaphors don't. Like here, we can say, the referee's whistle went off like a shrieking bird. We're using the word like to make the comparison, so this is a simile. If we said the referee's whistle was a shrieking bird, then this is a metaphor because there's no like or as in my sentence. Okay, the only difference is the word like or as in the comparison. Like or as, simile, no like or as, metaphor. Okay, and that's it for the week. That's our words. That's our vocabulary words. That's our literary terms and our shared reads. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll read the big story together. We will not have a quiz on this story this week because of exams starting next week, but you might see some of the vocabulary and maybe the skills on the exam. All right, see you next video. Bye-bye.